Welcome investor. Today is a special day because we're going to show you how to maximize the potential of your short stay investments here in Brazil. Let's go. So today here we are with Daniel. And Daniel is the owner and founder of Anora Spaces, which is one of the best companies for property management, one of the biggest here in São Paulo. So Daniel, for viewers who may not know Anora Spaces yet, could you explain what your company does and how long have you been operating here in São Paulo?
Hi, Lorenzo. First of all, thank you for inviting me for this interview. We work with short rental management and property management since 2015. We started, I think, as just like everyone in the market, doing for myself, managing one of my units. And then I started helping my family and then my friends. And then suddenly I had
A business.
over a business with no business plan, with nothing, just the willing to do it.
Yeah, that's great. So approximately how many apartments are you guys managing today in São Paulo or even in other places?
Great. So our main operation is located in São Paulo. Our headquarters is located in Alphaville, which is a great neighborhood in the suburb of São Paulo. We manage on the overall more than 550 units today.
Wow.
320, I think, in Alphaville, and the rest in different neighborhoods in São Paulo. And recently we opened our U.S. branch. We opened our operations there. I was there like 3 weeks ago.
Amazing.
Preparing the units. So we have already one unit working, and we probably getting 7 more units by the next month.
Yeah, nice. Where in the States?
In Florida, which is like
The
a
Brazilian
go-to
colony.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we are working around Disney World.
Yeah, in Orlando then.
In Orlando,
Yeah.
in Orlando.
Yeah, nice to hear. So you already answered a question that I was about to ask. Which neighborhoods do you focus more? And you said Alphaville. Alphaville is pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, actually, Alphaville is where I started because that's where I lived for all these years and where I still live. But we also operate on the west zone of São Paulo, which is Jardins, Vila Olímpia, Itaim, and close to Paulista Avenue.
Yeah, just to contextualize to the viewers, how did I get to know Daniel? Because I'm a client of Anora Spaces. I mean, I've been using their services for over probably 200 nights. So
Nice.
I'm a pretty happy customer, right? Are most of your property owners Brazilian or international so far?
I think 95% are Brazilians.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a few foreigners. We have investors from Greece, from France, from the US,
Yeah.
United States, and Argentina.
Argentina, yeah, Argentinians, they do love Brazil.
Yes, they do love.
Especially lately, they're going crazy for Brazil.
Exactly.
Over the past few years, have you seen an increase in demand for short-term rentals in São Paulo?
Actually, this market is exploding in São Paulo.
It's a boom, right?
It's amazing. I think we were one of the first structured companies to start. We started business officially in 2017, 2 years after I started working with my own apartments. There was actually no other companies that we could research, that we could analyze how they work. So we had to do the homework, looking at companies from the United States. We didn't have any contract template to copy from.
Starts from scratch, basically.
Started from scratch. There was
yeah.
nothing. The market was none actually.
Yeah.
And then, but we looked abroad. We looked to the U.S. market, understand how the company works there. Actually, all our softwares are from the U.S. Despite those ones that we developed internally in-house. But yeah, the market was nothing, and today it's a billion market. Like it's amazing how the constructors, the real estate development companies are looking to this market so bad. So like they're developing, they're focusing a lot on these type of
products that
property.
Product. Exactly. Nice. So compared to other international cities, how would you describe the maturity of the Airbnb market in São Paulo today?
Well, I think from 3 years to now, we have seen the market getting more professional. For example, all our employees, all our cleaning team, maintenance team, everything is formal employees of the company, which is different from 4 years, 5 years ago. Like they were, everyone was hiring just any person just to do the cleaning,
do the job
with no
qualification,
no qualification, no training. And today we have more than 100 employees.
Wow.
And they are all trained, formally hired by the company, and they are full-time with us.
And you are operating on almost 3 shifts, basically. So
it's
24/7.
Our customer service manager is here, Mona Lisa. It's actually a pretty hard job.
I guess
to
a lot
keep
of
up with the
responsibility.
clients.
A lot of people asking for stuff all day, all night.
More than 5,000 people or guests go through our apartments every month.
Wow. So going to the next question, is demand relatively stable throughout the year in São Paulo, or is some seasonality pattern that you've noticed?
Yeah, actually our market here in São Paulo is very stable. We can anticipate all the occupation because it's easy to understand. Here is a business city, so we have high demand, full on from March until December. Actually, the last weekend before Christmas. And then it's party time.
They go to the beach.
Yeah, they go to the beach. When the beach is full, our units are empty because everybody is on vacation. So that's easy to understand. Only 2 months in the whole year we have a low season. After that, we have a small variation between month to month. But actually, we can predict everything.
Yeah, that's great. So it's a flat, stable demand along the year.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So going to the drivers of Airbnb or short listing performance, from your experience managing many apartments on Airbnb, if you had to identify 3 factors that make the biggest difference in terms of occupancy and revenue per square meter, what would they be? I mean, things that are in the apartments or any features of the apartment, what would they be 3 factors?
Yeah, actually, as any other business, we have to have a good product, and a good product means a good place to stay with all the main amenities, air conditioning, a good space, a good bed, hot shower. This is basics. But we have to be able to have a full-on occupation. We need to achieve the best reviews. So we need social
proof, basically.
Social proof, exactly. So that helps us a lot selling online. Our our reviews are our driver. So we have every Tuesday we gather all the managers in the company, and we gather all the complaints, and we read all together.
The complaints. So
All the
you
complaints.
focus on what's to improve, basically.
That's why
Yeah.
we have actually this month we are getting back our superhost status with
Yeah.
more than 500 units.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
it's a really high standard,
Yeah.
and we give everything we can to acquire these reviews.
Yeah, that's great. So basically, once you have these high reviews, they work as a snowball effect to bring in more business.
Exactly.
So, but how do you get to these best reviews? I mean, in the apartments or in general, what are features or elements that help you a lot? So you mentioned this, the comfy bed, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Queen size bed is
Yeah.
really important. Sometimes the regular, I don't remember the name in English, but the regular size bed.
Yeah, here is 1.40, the regular.
Yes.
It's very small
Very
compared
small.
to international
Exactly,
standard.
exactly.
So the queen is
at least queen size.
Yeah.
If we have space, but it's hard on these compact apartments to have a king size bed.
Yeah.
This is really important. Smart TV, high speed TV, high speed internet.
Yeah.
This is the basic. Like everyone wants to connect your YouTube
Directly on the
account.
TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this, and of course, a clean apartment, objective instructions to check in. So
Okay.
if the guest has a bad time entering the building, all the rest will be
Mess.
really bad.
Yeah.
So if they stay 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get inside the building, this will mess up all the process.
Yeah.
So you have to have to make sure all the instructions are well informed,
yeah.
well explained to the guest. Also, the building staff, the front desk has to be pre-registered. They have to get the pre-registration from guests.
Yeah, for safety reasons, because in São Paulo,
Course.
yeah.
That's why we collect documents and we automate this
You have
process.
a smooth process, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And when you evaluate a new apartment before accepting it into your portfolio of managed properties, what are the first indicators that tell you it will perform well on Airbnb?
Yeah, actually, the apartment sometimes is not the main thing that we look for. Actually, we look for location, also the building experience. Like I said, a well planned check-in process.
Yeah.
This makes all the difference. Sometimes the apartment we can improve it,
Yeah.
but the building I cannot touch it.
Yeah, the location you cannot change.
Okay, I cannot
so the
change
apartment is
location.
just the tip of the iceberg,
Exactly,
basically.
exactly.
Yeah, nice. From your experience, how much does the interior design and presentation influence booking performance compared to location itself?
Of course. This is really important. I'd like to explain to our investors that Airbnb and Booking.com, it's like a restaurant menu. And usually the customers go to the plates that has good pictures.
Yeah.
So when you have 100 options on the menu, what are you looking for? First of all, it's the images, and also not only good images, but the sequence of the images.
It's important, yeah.
So they will look usually on the first 5 pictures. So you have to show it all. You have to show your best on the first 5 pictures, and then they will click on the ad and go to the full details.
The full listing. So the first impression is truly important. Yeah, you have 3 seconds to get their attention, basically. Yeah. How big is the difference between a studio designed for 2 guests versus one optimized for 4 guests? I mean, does it make a difference in the income that you can make with the apartment? How can you host many people and so on?
Yes. Usually, our listings include 2 guests, even if it has 2 bedrooms or 1 extra bed on the living room, and we charge for the extra guests.
Yeah.
It's really important, but we cannot make magic. Don't try to put 4 people in an apartment with 2 20 meters, square meters.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's better to have two guests on that.
With the right space dedicated.
On the right space, exactly.
Yeah. And in São Paulo today, which type of unit tend to perform best on Airbnb? I mean, studios, one-bedroom apartments, or larger units?
Well, I'm usually when I recommend a unit for one of our investors, I don't look only for, I don't aim only for our operation. Yeah. Usually, I want them to be successful in any situation. So, the one-bedroom apartment is the best because they can host a long stay guest and short stay as well. Too compact, you won't have like anyone staying for months there, only days. So
So it would be the one bedroom, the best.
One bedroom, 35 to 50 square meters. It's the best for me. That's where I invest. Our minimum is 25.
But if I have 24, 40, you work with me?
Yeah.
We can talk.
We can talk.
Beyond the apartment itself, how important are the characteristics of the building for short-term rental success? I mean, the building is relevant, right?
Yeah, as I said, the building makes all the difference because we can't change it, so it has to be good as it is. Parking space makes all the difference. Especially in São Paulo, parking lot, included or not.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, because sometimes we get like really beautiful buildings, but they don't have a parking lot.
And
they don't have like not even 2 blocks away. So what do you do? There's no option.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. So if we list three elements, one is the parking place, the parking space.
Even if it's paid.
Yeah,
no
so it makes sense actually if I have a studio in a building, for example, to rent out and then apply a margin in the listing, right?
Exactly, for sure.
Yeah.
And this is one of them. As I said, a good lobby that the guests, because sometimes the guests they arrive in the building earlier. 1 hour, 2 hours earlier, and we don't want to say, okay, you can. It's not ready.
Stay away.
Go away. No, please sit
be
down.
Flexible.
We want to be flexible, but sometimes the building doesn't allow us to let them in. Guests to let them in. Exactly.
So that's another point that is not usually shown on the listings.
Actually, I took off from our operation more than 80 units that were just like that. Our guests didn't have anywhere to wait for. They didn't have anyone to talk like in person.
Just a screen and
not even a screen, just a
button.
Just a button.
A robot.
So we disqualified this. So more than 80 just last year. This year I think 30 more. So we are talking about over 100 units that took off operation.
Because there are investors that they say, okay, I buy in this place that has the automatic reception, but that as for the experience of the guest is so bad, right? So it's cheaper, but eventually...
Usually the investors, they sell the unit and come to buy in other places that we know that works. How does the potential revenue for short-term rentals compare with traditional long-term rentals? I mean, usually, in average, we can get up to 25 to 30% over the regular rental contracts, rental agreements, but it's not written in stone. Like it can change. It depends a lot on the neighborhood and everything.
So there are cases where it is better to put it on long term, and some cases which is better to short.
For sure.
And this is very interesting now for investors who live abroad, like me. I do not live in Brazil, for example. Operational management is often a concern. I mean, how do you handle all the check-in, cleaning? It's all automated.
Actually, we use a lot of automations, AI, to communicate, to automate some communications. But we cannot automate everything, and especially on hard times that we have to be humble. We have to be understanding with the guest that is suffering for something that the machine cannot feel it. So we have a lot of automation, but we have a really nice team, over 100 people in our team, to make sure that the apartment is clean, the
Yeah.
instructions are on time,
Yeah.
and the maintenance when it happens that this is all internal, so we have to fix it fast.
Yeah, that's super important. And when I get to the apartment, I find always the 2 cups of water. That's a pro tip, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because when you get to many apartments, I get from 13-hour flight, and then I don't even have to go to the supermarket at 11 p.m. It's crazy, right? So how important are professional photos and listing optimization? Do you use like a professional photographer to
For sure. Yes, always professional photographers. They have the proper equipment. They have the proper view. They can see the best angles.
the editing and so on.
Exactly.
And this
They follow our instructions because I learned it.
Of course.
So they have to take pictures of every drawer, every appliance, everything.
The kitchen.
Yes. So sometimes the guest complains, "Oh, you didn't have this or that." Okay, but wait, I gave you pictures of everything.
Yeah.
So if it's not there,
There is no escape.
you can't complain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And do you use dynamic pricing strategies to maximize revenue throughout the year?
For sure, especially with this amount of units and different channels. We work with over 5 different channels or selling partners, OTAs. So it's impossible to manage manually. So yes, we use dynamic pricing with AI that updates daily.
Yeah, nice. And that
changes everything.
That helps. How much do you estimate this increases the use of dynamic pricing increases the revenue that you can get every month?
If it's well set up, well prepared, it can upgrade 20, 15% easily.
Yeah.
Sometimes even better if you didn't have any experience.
Yeah.
Like we did have before we implemented the dynamic pricing. We already have a lot of experience. So it increased, but it's not like magic.
Yeah.
But if you are
a
newbie and put flat price all the year, it will probably get you over 40% of increase.
Yeah.
Because you're losing money if you.
So it's an important element to use.
Exactly. Really important.
And what is the most common mistake that you see investors make when buying an apartment and then to put it on Airbnb? I mean, when they do it alone.
They don't. I think the main mistake is not asking for the opinion of our team, because we know what works. We don't. What doesn't work. So I think if they sometimes they think they made a really good deal. Yeah. And come, I just bought a new one. Let's go. They say, oh my god.
Yeah, and then so they bought an apartment that is not compatible, or or the building is wrong.
Exactly.
And, the biggest red flags. So things that investors have to be super careful about when they evaluate a property.
First of all, there's no free meal. There's no
free lunch. Yeah,
free lunch.
Yeah.
So I think if it's an outstanding business, and it might have something wrong with the documentation of the documents.
The documents. So the documents should be extra careful.
Brazil is a really there's a lot of bureaucracy.
Yeah, red tape.
So be careful. Be advised. Find someone that is professional to analyze everything before doing the deal.
Especially if you don't know how it works, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why we work
from another country. Yeah.
Exactly. So Daniel, what would be the best neighborhoods today, the best areas of São Paulo in which to invest for short-term rental maximization strategies?
Well, actually, we already filtered it, so we only work on the best locations today. So we want to work. We want to operate where the business are. So close to Paulista Avenue, there's some neighborhoods around that area. Close to Berrini Avenue also. Faria Lima.
Yeah, Faria Lima, Pinheiros.
And Alphaville. Yeah, Alphaville, where we are, where our company is located, is a really emerging location.
Yeah.
The prices are much better than São Paulo, and we are the biggest operators in the area, so we have like a control of pricing, and we have a constrained demand. So not demand, actually We don't have as many apartments as the market needs.
Yeah.
And the location,
It's
the
safe.
city doesn't allow the building companies to build as they did in São Paulo.
Yeah.
So actually we have a controlled market where we can control prices, we control the units offered on the platforms.
Nice.
So I think here that's where I invest actually. I have some in São Paulo, but most of my investments are here.
Yeah.
And yes, but of course, I live here, my company is here,
Yeah.
so it depends on the point of view. But for me, I developed my company here because I really believe this is the best place to be. I could be in São Paulo as well.
No, but here actually, as you mentioned, there is increasing demand, but limited offer. That grants higher prices, and it's super safe.
Exactly.
It's like
this
safer
is the
than Europe.
safest place in São Paulo. Yeah.
Actually, I did a video on the channel. You can find it here if you click, where I go around Alphaville with 1,000 reais with the elastics here to show it's.
When was it?
Yeah, a year ago, 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I go around with the money.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, no one. I will send you the link.
Send me the link and I'll share it.
Yeah, no
that's
one.
True.
I mean, everyone says it's a poor country, it's dangerous. You gotta come here to visit Brazil and find out how it is for real, right?
Yeah, of course. If there's other locations in São Paulo that are really safe as well, but nothing compared to Alphaville.
Yeah, it's definitely the safest I ever seen. In one of the safest, together with Florianopolis, is probably one of the safest places.
Actually, we are building a hotel in Florianopolis.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, we are on the hotel business now. We started working on this business now. You talked about Florianopolis, and we are developing a new hotel in Florianopolis.
For short stay, yeah.
For short stay. Actually, it'll be a hotel with a short stay touch-up, So it's a really automated experience, really very digital, with self-check-in, but with like really working self-checking. Not any self-checking.
No, I've been there to Florianopolis last week. I arrived at the garage and they already recognized my face and I get in. And here
exactly.
It works.
Yeah. But it has to work, and it have to be there. There must be people to help when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's what we learned.
Okay, so thank you, Daniel, for the interview. It was great time to talk to you. And
great, Lorenzo.
Stay in touch with us and
Thank
subscribe.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Oh.